Hey, Shawnee from SpeedQiYi.com. So let's do a mega comparison of all the Pyraminxes that are out there. I'm going to go kind of alphabetical order through some of the companies and then talk about what the top ones that I feel are the ones you'd want to consider when getting a Pyraminx. First, we have some Cyclone Boys ones. Now there's two major ones, and they have the new version 2 and the older version 1. I actually say don't worry about the version 2. The version 1, extremely clicky. Like, to the point where it's way too clicky to really use too much. Although if you really want something that is just will lock into place, it's not too bad. The version 2 kind of went for a more flexible version, but it's so flexible, things just kind of lose their place. So both the Cyclone Boys, not bad. Version 1 I like a little bit better, even though it's insanely clicky. But both of these I'm just going to put to the side. Then we have the Dian one. Now I believe there's a newer one that they're working on or just came out, but the version 1 is okay. It's a little bit of a hole right there, so it can cut a little bit, but it definitely still has that kind of grindy clickiness. Nothing exceptional. I pulled this Z Cube one out because it's slightly smaller, and it intrigued me because I like smaller puzzles. It's honestly not too bad at all. Of the ones I already showed, this one would probably, be my favorite of those. But it's not small enough to be novelty or travel with. And so, again, I'm going to kind of put it to the side. It's not bad. If you really want something that's slightly smaller and you don't mind that it's a bit clicky and not the most exceptional corner cutting, it could be okay to get. But like I said, it's nothing exceptional. So now let's go to the QiYi one. This was the first one and really was fantastic. I mean, right as I got it, I would consider this one as my favorite one. It's clicky, but without being too, it doesn't feel like it gets stuck in any one spot, but enough to where it feels like it clicks into place, especially the tips as well. They came out with a magnetic version. Now the magnetic version honestly feels the exact same as far as the design. It's a slightly different if you look at the way those cuts are, but the same sort of feel. So really good corner cutting and just overall great performance. The magnets click to place really well with these tips. It's really impossible to have it stay in one spot. And then the body of it also is pretty clicky. It a little bit less click than you would feel with the ball bearings, but enough to where you have that feel. And I like clickier cubes, so this works really well for me. Now this will not push itself into place, and with the tips, I've heard people talk about how this can prevent +2s. Not really, because if you don't push it enough, it's not going to be in the right spot. Now they have a budget line. Now they have kind of a budget line, I believe it's pronounced the Ming, and this plastic is different. It's kind of frosted, almost slippery. The shiny one is a little grippier than this one, and it's not bad. It's a little more flexible, a little less clicky than this one is. So one thing it does have going for it is it's a little under $10. It works well, a little more flexible than like. I can tighten the tensions a bit, but compared to the regular QiYi one and the magnetic one, I think those upstage this just a little bit, but this has been set out there to be more of a budget line. Then we have the MoYu ones. Now this one is actually more of YJ, and when I did the unboxing, one of the first times ever I said just not to go for something. It doesn't have any magnets or ball bearings. It just feels like it's been thrown together. It doesn't have too good of corner cutting, so I'm going to move this over already. They have their regular MoYu one that has ball bearings, not as clicky as the QiYi one. And then there's a magnetic one, which is also not quite as clicky. The tips especially, almost you can't even feel much at all. I can tell that when it gets into place, it doesn't feel like there's as much tension, but compared to this, it's a huge difference. Drew Brads, who Pyraminx is really his specialty, he has said he likes things a little less clicky, and he prefers the MoYu one. I prefer this mainly for the clickiness, but I get equal times on both. So before I talk about those a little bit more at the end, I also want to talk about Shengshou. There's the Shengshou Pyraminx. No one who was really serious used it as is. Usually they're modified by sanding out that middle. And now there's a Shengshou Aurora, which is basically that. It reverses pretty nicely. Tips click into place a little bit. The middle areas click into place kind of a lot. It's not a bad Pyraminx at all. It seems to be just maybe a little less performance than the QiYi and the MoYu one, but if you like the Shengshou one and didn't want to sand pieces down, you can get the Aurora pretty much set up right out of the box exactly how you would want it. These are the big ones I would recommend. The X-Man Design Magnetic QiYi, the Magnetic MoYu one, and maybe the Shengshou Aurora for a cheaper model. These are the two big competitors, and your choices are clickier or not as clicky. A little bit more controllable, a little bit more flexible. Since I am not a super fast solver, I would definitely go for this one. I know really fast solvers who use MoYu and ones who use QiYi. One is not drastically better than the other. There's just a preference of how it feels, and these are the two ones to really go for. I don't think magnets are a huge difference. This one I get pretty much the exact same times with the ball bearings, but it's just a nice feeling that I prefer. So thank you very much. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by speedqview.com for more news and reviews.